Dancers in Fire Emblem have historically been one of the best type of characters, always constantly being ranked as one of the best characters to have in community-made tier lists. While for the most part dancers will struggle in combat, they make up for that by giving the best utility in the game, the ability to refresh a unit. There's a lot to gain from being able to use your best unit twice, or effectively double the range of a character's movement to get from point A to point B faster. But unlike previous Fire Emblem titles, Fire Emblem Three Houses makes your dancer experience unique to you by letting you, the player, choose who your dancer should be. And that's what we'll be talking about today. What should my thought process be when choosing my dancer, as well as some suggestions and ideas that I got from you guys from my previous videos. You can unlock the dancer class during the 12th month of the Ethereal Moon, where during the dates of 12/7 and 12/14, you can choose a student that will participate in the White Heron Cup as long as you explore the monastery during those dates. You can also go help your student practice and they'll get a massive boost to their charm stat. The game recommends you to have at least 13 charm in order to win, but I've seen people lose with that much charm, so I recommend getting a little bit higher, around a charm stat of 16 or 17 if you want to guarantee your chances of winning. Dancers also, for some reason, have a ton of movement in this game, making them that much easier to use. And with the Stride Battalion and Dance, dancers can get a ton of value just for refreshing a big movement unit like a flyer to just get them into the thick of things quicker, or just ending a map in 1 or 2 turns. I think for the most part there are 2 schools of thoughts when choosing a dancer. I can choose my worst performing member out of the characters that I have a desire to use and make them my dancer. Theoretically speaking, this unit will never see combat. I still get to use the character that I like, and I get access to great utility. On the flip side of things, I can make my dancer for the combat art that the dancer class provides. Sword Dance, which grants you more might depending on your charm stat, while also giving you plus 20 avoid, is a great skill to have on some of the more unexpected units. At this moment in time, with there only being 2 difficulty modes, I believe both schools of thoughts are valid. I truly believe that in both normal and hard mode, dancers aren't mandatory to have, so it could just be a class that you dip into for a skill. But with more difficulty modes being added, I think finding a nice middle ground for both will be the way to go. Which is why it becomes so obvious for someone like Dorothea, who has a background in opera, her time skip design being the default for dancers, makes so much sense as she reaches the nice middle ground between both utility and offense, while having an easy time with all the proficiencies that the dancer class provides. But let's be honest here, that's a really obvious choice, so let me talk about some of the weirder options. The first character that I'm going to talk about is Ferdinand. While Ferdinand is in the same house as Dorothea and she obviously dominates the dancer space, Ferdinand isn't actually too bad if you're okay with having a physical dancer. His personal skill Confidence, which grants him avoid and hit plus 15 when at full HP, works really well with the unique combat art that the dancer class provides. With the Avoid Ring, a battalion that helps you evade, and more, Ferdinand could virtually become impossible to hit. The downsides to having a dancer Ferdinand is that he has god-awful magic, so we can't make use of the Reason Magic boon that the dancer class provides, and to an extent, Faith Magic. On top of that, the dancer class really messes with the stat gain since the additive bonuses are terrible for Ferdinand. So once you get Sword Dance, you'll most likely want Ferdinand to swap out to a different class so you don't have to deal with RNG and hope he doesn't get screwed out of the stats he would have normally gotten from being in a different class. While Ferdinand could potentially, at max HP, be the best abuser of the Sword Dance combat art, the same train of thought could be applied to a lot of the other sword proficient characters, like Petra and Felix. But in the case of someone like Felix, this is just a bad version of Mortal Savant. If you're gonna go in here for more offensive purposes, then support-oriented purposes. Another character that was constantly brought up to my attention from the Golden Deer video that I've recently made was Dancer Marianne. And the more I read these comments, the more merit I see in having Dancer Marianne. With things like Blood Gang and the Frozen Lands combat art, it can help you if you're ever in a bad position with Marianne. With a good faith magic list, she can also act as a secondary healer for the squadron, but most importantly, she looks really good as a dancer. And for the most part, Marianne is going to be in a more supportive role for the team, so this isn't all too different from that. However, if you do make Marianne your dancer, that means you should have planned ahead and have gotten a different healer in either the Golden Deer house or by recruiting a different character and making them your dedicated healer so Marianne could be your secondary. Because if Marianne is your healer, then there was 0 point in going down the dancer class, as the additive bonuses from being in priest or bishop are infinitely better, and you aren't wasting your time healing instead of refreshing. This same line of thought goes for Mercedes, but do keep in mind that Mercedes can become a pseudo-tank with the Raphael gem and the Live to Serve personal skill in exchange for not being able to use sword dance very well. And finally, Flayn is another great candidate to have as a dancer if you're struggling to choose one for your house. While Flayn can't abuse the sword dance skill very well, she has a good magic list that she can take advantage of, and she can not only refresh but rescue members if you're ever in a pinch. But the biggest advantage of turning Flayn into a dancer is in the fact that she joins late and presumably underleveled, making her potentially difficult to use if you have the space to use her, which leads her to being a great dancer candidate and an even better dancer candidate if you like Flayn. But at the end of the day, it's really about who you want to turn into a dancer. Do you want to turn big Raphael into a dancer? Then go for it. In fact, I encourage you to experiment and have fun with the theory crafting of ideas, as I think 3 Houses gives you a lot of flexible options to do so. And with that being said, this has been JaeAIK. But before I leave, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, TONOR, for sponsoring this video and sending me a new mic to play with. TONOR microphones is designed to deliver beautiful, open sounds with sparkling harmonics. The highly accurate microphones provide clear and authentic recordings, capturing every detail without static and harshness. TONOR microphone products are designed in California, US, and manufactured in Shenzhen, China. Each microphone undergoes rigorous testing for quality control before entering packaging phase to ensure absolute quality. In the very unlikely event that a customer discovers product defect, the microphone will be replaced without charge. TONOR is also doing a giveaway during the dates of September 2nd, 2019 to September 6th, 2019. So if you're interested in joining this, I'll be providing all the links in the description below. And if you want to buy a TONOR microphone, then you can get a discount by using discount code JaeAIK01 for 15% off on your next purchase. It also helps me out if you do decide to buy a microphone. Personally, I love the volume button that lets me kind of control the decibels that I'm capturing, as my old mic would always capture a ton of background noise that I wasn't a fan of when editing my audio. With this mic, it's quick and easy, and I don't have to dedicate 4.5 hours to just treating my audio, which I'm already bad at. So once again, thank you TONOR for sponsoring this video, and please go check out TONOR. Once again, all the links are in the description below. But with that being said, this has been JaeAIK, and as always, thanks for watching. させるものか